All right, let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we are unpacking a highly realistic, totally zero BS roadmap for going from absolutely zero to building long-term wealth. If you are exhausted by all the endless online noise and you just want a clear, logical path to financial independence, well, you're in the right place. We're going to strip away all the fluff today and look at what actually works. So, the whole blueprint starts by focusing on a very specific, totally achievable goal, making your first $10,000. Now, you might be wondering, why not a million? Because hitting this exact number proves to you that making money is a replicable skill, not just some crazy stroke of luck. It's a massive mental milestone. That first 10K is notoriously the hardest to make, but once you figure it out, you prove to yourself that you can do it again and again, and eventually scale that into life-changing wealth. Here is the exact 4-step masterclass we're covering today. First, the 10K mindset shift. Second, choosing your income engine. Third, climbing the skill pyramid. And finally, turning that cash into real wealth. Let's get into it. Section 1, the 10K mindset shift. The absolute golden rule starting out: ignore the get-rich-quick mirages. Day trading, crypto moons, they require huge cash reserves and a ton of luck that beginners simply don't have. Moving on to Section 2, choosing your income engine. Let's evaluate the 4 actual, realistic ways to put cash in your pocket. Okay, looking at this matrix, what's really interesting is how it clearly crowns online services as the ultimate vehicle. I mean, they combine the massive global reach of the internet with insane 70 to 80% profit margins. To see why this is the winner, let's break down exactly why the other 3 options on this table usually fall short in the real world. Take in-person services like a local car washing hustle. The source gives this clever example of targeting houses that have incredibly tidy gardens but dirty cars, basically betting that if the owner obsesses over their lawn, they're going to want a shiny car in the driveway too. And yeah, it's brilliant for fast cash. But here's the catch. You are literally limited to working with one person at a time in one single local area. Your income has a very hard, very physical ceiling. And this perfectly illustrates the trap of the second option, local products. The creator of our source material actually built RC planes by hand to sell at a local flying club. Sounds awesome, right? Like a fun passion project? But he painfully realized that the heavy physical effort and the sheer cost of the materials completely ate his profits. You put in a ton of sweat equity, but your local customer base just isn't big enough to pay the premium you need to make it worth your time. So then you think, okay, I'll sell stuff online. But even global products, we're talking drop shipping or clothing brands, can seriously trap your money. You're looking at endless cycles of restocking inventory. You sell 10 items, but then you have to take that cash and buy 20 more just to keep the lights on. Your money is constantly tied up in physical boxes, and you're only making maybe 20 to 30% margins, which is exactly why we have to pivot back to our winner, online services, where 70 to 80% goes straight into your pocket from day one. That brings us to Section 3, the skill pyramid. This is where we figure out how to stop trading our time for pennies and really scale up. To turn a basic skill into a $10,000 income, the source provides this exact 4-element pyramid that we've got to master. Miss even one of these, and you're going to stay stuck at the bottom, working incredibly hard but never quite breaking through to the serious money. Let's look at how this builds, starting with leverage. This is arguably a total game changer. Listen, the second you stop charging for your time and start charging for the return on investment you provide, clients are actually happy to pay you more. Think about it. If you run Facebook ads and charge an hourly rate, the client just wants to minimize your hours to save a buck. To them, you're an expense. But if you charge based on the revenue you bring in, suddenly they aren't thinking about your cost at all. They're focusing on their own profit. You instantly become an asset. Rounding out the rest of the pyramid, first, you must position yourself where the money is. So don't just write cheap blog articles, optimize landing pages that actually convert sales for businesses. For reach, you have to broadcast your work. There's an amazing story here about a designer who posted these movie-style posters on TikTok just for fun. His inbox literally exploded with so many DMs, he had to start a business just to handle the demand. And finally, automation. Honestly, 95% of side hustles fail simply because people miss deadlines. The highest paid people aren't always the most talented, they're just the most reliable. Using a CRM system to automate your follow-ups ensures you never drop the ball. And now for Act 4, turning cash into wealth. The golden rule here? Don't waste it. Once you hit that 10K, the wealthy do not blow it on supercars or expensive nights out. They know cash isn't wealth. They use that cash to go make more money. The source maps out this exact 4-tier risk scale. advising us to start right at the bottom with a high-yield savings account, sitting around maybe 3%. Now, this isn't to get rich, it's purely a safety net. It's a buffer so that when an emergency inevitably happens, you are never forced to sell your actual investments at a loss. It protects your whole wealth-building engine. Moving up that risk scale, this timeline shows the unbelievable power of index funds, like the S&P 500, which historically averaged about a 10% return over the last decade. To put that into perspective, this perfectly illustrates the famous concept that investing just $5 a day, literally the price of your daily coffee, from age 18 to 67, could allow you to retire with over $1 million. It's the ultimate low-maintenance, set-it-and-forget-it wealth builder. Finally, at the very top of the risk scale, you've got individual stocks and crypto. Stocks offer a really engaging, hands-on learning experience because they force you to actually learn how to read financial statements, even if it carries higher risk. Then you have crypto. While things like Bitcoin and Ethereum can generate decent returns, they demand incredibly smart, slow dollar cost averaging because of extreme volatility. You never jump in all at once, and you only ever invest what you can afford to lose. So the ultimate takeaway from this whole breakdown is that wealth is a structured, logical choice. It's not a lottery ticket. You now have the literal blueprint to get your first $10,000 and the exact investment scale to turn it into $1 million. The strategy is crystal clear. So I'll leave you with this. Which income engine are you going to start building today?